the Center on Developing Child produces this kind of figures showing that the human brain development follows some paths, and it's important what happens in the first year of your life. So the neural connections for different functions develop sequentially. So you have the sensory pathways like vision and hearing develop in the first months of your life, and then they decay. Then you have the language functions, neural connections, and then the higher cognitive function like executive functions. So once you miss this opportunity, it's very difficult to get this functioning later on in life. What happens here in the first year is really, really important. And there are critical periods. This is important for me as well. So what happens in the first year may impact all your life. And I'll have this thing that looks at the first year, the first few months of life. So basically, I look at minimum wage in the period of hyperinflation. So I compute daily inflation rates, and I look at the average real value of the minimum wage per day during the first year of the life of the kids. And I look at the effect of that on future outcomes. Okay? This is the inflation in Brazil. So it used to be, this is 91, January to 95. So this was the monthly inflation rate in Brazil. Our cohort from Pelotas starts here in 1993, January, okay? So we have a cohort, we follow 5,000 guys that were born in 1993 in Pelotas, okay? I'm gonna talk about the data, it's just the motivation now. So these guys were born here in between 93 January and 93 December. So inflation was increasing over this period, okay? Starting from 25% and going up to 40%. So basically, you see this huge inflation rate, and the minimum wage was not corrected at the same rate. So if you look at this is the real minimum wage on a daily basis. So you see these huge changes in the real value of the minimum wage depending on the timing of the readjustment of the minimum wage. This is an important variation in the real value of the minimum wage. Okay, so I use this variation to identify the effects of income on child development. Okay. Econometric methodology. So basically, I'm going to show that the minimum wage, it depends on your day of birth within a month. So it's exogenous, basically. It's random. Okay. So we didn't need any controls. I'm putting month dummies to control for seasonal effects and other controls. Okay. This is the average minimum wage in the first quarter of your life, of the first year of your life, trimester we call. And this is a positive effect on your schooling. Now this is the probability that you finish high school when you are 18. So it's just on time. This is the second quarter, and this is the third and quarter are not statistically significant. So you put more controls, the effect remains the same. For the higher education sample, there's no effect, as you would expect. And this for the illiterates is a positive effect. Okay, so it seems like the average minimum wage, average real value of the minimum wage in the first 3 months of your life have an impact on years of schooling, on the probability of finishing high school. The marginal effects are huge. So if the minimum wage is like 380, you have a 6% chance of finishing high school in 18. If the minimum wage is 420, you have 25%. Okay? So it's a big effect. Look at, this is the graph. So if you are 25 reals below the mean, you have a 5% chance of concluding high school on time. If it's 25 reais above the mean, it's like 18%. So it's a huge impact on the probability of high school. And this is years of schooling. It increases about 0.8 years of schooling. Social emotional, it also has an impact. This is the strength and difficulties questionnaire. It also decreases your index of problems, social emotional problems. also, I have some mechanisms. So people have been asking me, what's going on that this such a strong effects in the first year of your life? So I produced some variable with 11 years old that has whether the mother had some depression after birth. Okay, so I collected this information. I call this baby blues because in England we used to call baby blues when the mother gets depression after giving birth. Okay, or this includes depression plus other variables. So you can see that the average minimum wage in the first semester reduces the probability of you becoming sick after birth. Okay, and in the low education sample, it also decreases. So you have this negative effect, and just to finish, you have these are the working moms and the non-working moms. The effects are much stronger for the non-working moms, so they stay at home with their kids and they don't work. Their father is responsible for the income. Whether the father is an employee or self-employed, the effects is stronger for the self-employed. And whether the mother lives with the father is a positive effect. Single mothers, there's no effect. So you see the effects are stronger if the mother lives with the father is a self-employed, and the mother doesn't work.